and this is episode 1 of my Java tutorials. Right. The first thing we need to do to start is you need to get an IDE, and the one that I'm using and I recommend you use for these tutorials is Eclipse. To get it, go to eclipse.org and then click the download link. From there, there's many different IDEs that you can use, but the one that I'm using is Eclipse IDE for Java developers. It's 122 megabytes. You just click which format you want and download it. Now, once you download it, you're going to get a zipped folder in wherever you saved. And you're going to open that up, and then you can extract this folder to your desktop. Once you've extracted it, you can open up the folder again, and this will be the actual folder that you have extracted. So when you click it, you'll see this. Once you have this, you click the Eclipse icon and it will open the program up. It opens the program up for the first time. It's going to ask you where you want to have your workspace. So this should be the window you're seeing, and you can pick wherever you're wanting. I'm using the default save. The workspace saves everything. It saves your coding, it saves your classes, it saves the entirety of your project. So make sure you know where it's saving. Click OK. Alright. Now, once it's open, you need to go to File, New, and Java Project. And don't worry, yours will look different when it opens for the first time. Now, once it opens, you name the project. And it can be whatever you want, but for this tutorial, I'm doing Hello World. So I'm just going to use that as the project name. Click Next. It's going to give you folder options. I'm going to leave all those as default, as I recommend you do. You click Finish, and it's going to create it. Now, once it's created it, the folder is going to be right here so you can access it. Open it up and go to your SRC folder. Right-click and select New and Class. Now, once you select Class, the only thing you need to worry about entering right now is this name. And there's a couple rules when making a class name. The first rule is that the first letter of the class has to be capitalized. Now, in Eclipse, it doesn't matter because it'll capitalize it for you. But if you're doing this in Notepad or an IDE that doesn't have that feature, you must capitalize the first letter of your class or it will not recognize the class. So for me, it's going to be Hello World. And it's common practice to capitalize the letter of each word in your class, but it's not going to affect your code. Only the first letter of the class itself is going to matter, and no spaces. So I click Finish, and it should open it up right here. Now, as you can see, it's already created the access to the public class Hello World. And so now we're going to make a constructor. And to do that, you're going to type public, and then the name of your class exactly as you spelled it. It won't work if you don't do it right. And then you have the parentheses and an open bracket and hit enter, and it'll make the close bracket for you. Okay. Now the next thing we need to do for the coding is make our main, which accesses or is the first thing that's run in the code. And to do that, you're going to declare public again, static, void, and then main. And now you're going to do a parentheses. It should do the close parentheses for you. And inside that, you're going to type string with a capital S, brackets, space, and an ARGS. And now another opening bracket, hit enter, and it should close it for you. At this point, you shouldn't have any X's on the side. If you do, go back and make sure that there's nothing wrong with your coding. Make sure that it's all perfect. And keep in mind that this language is case sensitive, which means you cannot capitalize one word and not another. Capitalization in this means something. Classes are capitalized, methods are not. String has its own class, so you have to capitalize it anytime you declare string as a variable. Now, the next thing we have to do to print Hello World is type system and then .out .println, which is pronounced print line, and then parentheses. And now, whatever you want to show, you have to do quotations around it. So for us, it's going to be Hello World and exclamation point. Okay. And now at the end of this, on the outside parentheses, you're going to put a semicolon. And this tells it that this is the first command it's to run. And now you can go up here and you click the run button. It's going to ask you that you want to run these. You say OK. And there we go. It's printed hello world right down there. I'm going to go back and explain a few things. The first thing I want to cover are some keywords. The first keyword being public. It is used 3 times in this program, and the further we go, the more we're going to use it. Public is a modifier, and it declares anything past it until the end closing bracket as accessible to the rest of the program. So an example would be public here will say that everything from this bracket to its closing bracket, which is here, is open and can be accessible. So later when we have multiple classes and you want to call a class, you'll be able to. A few more keywords I want to go over are static, void, and main. Now, static tells the environment that there is no input that needs to be given before it can run this line, so it doesn't bother trying to find any. Later, when you're using main, this line of coding won't change, but later when we have different segments of coding, static will be replaced with other codes or other keywords. Void says that there's going to be no return output, and by this is basically saying that any calculations done will remain within this coding and this coding alone. So if you were to have a variable, it's not going to send any information from it out to another class. And then main just states that this is the key program. This will be the first thing that runs on every program. Whatever you have in the main is what runs. Now, here within the parentheses of the main, you have string, square brackets, and ARGS, which stands for arguments. String is capitalized, and the reason it is capitalized is because it is a class. It is also a variable. Most variables in Java will be lowercase, but string is the exception because it has its own unique class. And because of this, string must be capitalized. Now, the square brackets next to it are called an array, and later on we'll be using it, but for now, just get in the habit of putting those there. And argument is going to let it know that ahead is coding, and well, that's a bad example or bad explanation. Argument tells it that there will be arguments up ahead within the next brackets from here to here. There will be, and when I say an argument, I mean as in like if statements, for loops. It basically states that there's going to be code running. Now, a few other keywords I want to cover are system, out, and printline. For the first few tutorials I use, printline is going to be used a lot. And SOP, system, out, printline, is what you will type whenever you want to put words on the console. So later when we're having input and you want to say enter your income here or enter a character stats here, you're going to have this to print it out on the console. A system tells it that it's accessing the system class. Notice system is capitalized, therefore it is a class. Out is a method of that class, and it's telling it that there's going to be an output. Printline tells it that it's going to print on the monitor. And that's why when you run this program, you get this here. Without printline, it wouldn't show up here. If you had other coding, it'll do other things, and we'll cover that in later tutorials. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions, you can message me. I will be trying to release at least one tutorial a week. I'm shooting for 2 right now, but I'm a college student. I have classes, so we'll see how that goes.